I want to say thank you to the Upswing Fund for inviting me here today and for prioritizing adolescent mental health, especially among young people of color and those who are LGBT like me. I believe there's a time in everyone's life where they must conquer the impossible, a time when you look around and see the world no longer making sense, a time where you cannot rely on simple truths like murder is wrong, the earth is good, and people care about other people. This year has been unexplainable in many ways, most of which is the rising death toll. What happens when reality is so painful that hiding away is the only option? You begin to think others don't matter. After making this realization, I decided no one understands my emotions, and that since I am alone, everything should be dedicated to me. Now I feel better about myself and more comfortable. But the second the news clicks on with an inevitable disaster, I'm frozen, screaming out, do something in my head. My ears ring with yearning for food, Netflix, and redemption for all the guilt I have. Don't get me wrong, self care is important and should be prioritized, but it's hard to do in the aftermath of a Black man or woman's brutal murder, the cries of a grieving family that lost at least 10 people who were alive just 9 months ago, and the world's ticking clock of 10 short years before irreversible environmental damage will certainly create unthinkable catastrophes. While in social isolation, these thoughts have run rampant throughout my mind. I think everyone else has had these thoughts too. The world is scary and changing with no peace in sight. My pastor preaches about the rapture, beating his Bible, while my friends and I talk for hours about environmental doom. But how can I help with government benefits and kindness as my only means of survival? The answer is simply to work hard and bring it back into the community. People you love would be far less miserable to the village that raised you. Oh wait, people you love, would be far less miserable if you just gave back and gave something to the village that raised you. Whether it be reporting on African American museums, antidepressant medication, or hopefully passing legislation in public office so that people get as much as they deserve and need in city benefits. However, if I'm crippled by my own mind before I can leave the hood, I ask again, how can I help? According to Columbia University Department of Psychiatry, the Black community comprises approximately 40% of the homeless population, 50% of the prison population, and 45% of children in the foster care system, despite only being 12% of the general American population. This means most Black Americans are statistically doomed to fail, much less have a home. The burden on these numbers weighs down on the shoulders of me, my classmates, and the little kids who run to catch the bus at 6:30 a.m. When general racism, health issues, and poverty are on your back, it shatters your ability to function, damning you as another number for a study to report. I feel this as a daughter of a single mother and great aunt who have raised me regardless of challenges and trauma-based disorders. As a student of an underfunded, predominantly Black public charter school, who is often put in front of her hardworking classmates simply because she can afford the time to study. And as a 16-year-old teenage girl diagnosed with anxiety, depression, and ADHD, who feels like her medicine is robbing her of her beautiful mind because the psychiatrist barely gets a chance to know who she is before deciding on what chemical she needs to be normal. I had given up, decided I was broken, until I met my best friends, had an open conversation with my parents every day, got a counselor who walked me through solutions to my episodes, and spoke to my teachers about how my illness affects my ability to comprehend the assignments. You have to advocate for yourself because no matter what people give you, nothing will work unless you work with it. Mental health needs to be a top priority. We are here to recognize people of color, the LGBTQIA+ community, and every person my age who cannot get out of bed in the morning or smile when the sun sets, because their mind is no longer their own. Today, Upswing is making a difference by allowing me to speak about mental health, so I could talk about the benefits for me of family and friend support, therapy, and medication access for those who need it. Upswing will change the statistics of those who feel hopeless and unwanted by a society they were born into. Together, we can make the world a better place and safer for kids like me with mental illness. Thank you.
Amora.